Okay, I have a correction to make from this morning on chapter 1. I said that they fasted for 7 days, but it lasted a feast for the people. Not the sovereigns had a feast of 180 days, but the peoples had a feast of 7 days. And I said fast. I'm sorry about that. After these events, when the wrath of sovereign Ahasuerus had ceased, he remembered Vashti, what she had done, and what had been decreed about against her. Then the sovereign servants who attended him said, "Let lovely young maidens be sought for the sovereign." Okay, so here's your virgins, right? Not, and of course, you don't have to be a virgin to be the bride of Christ. You just have to not have worshipped idols. And if you have, repent. And let the sovereign appoint officers in all the provinces of his reign, and let them gather all the lovely young maidens to the citadel of Shushan, into the women's quarters, under the hand of Haggai, the sovereign's eunuch, guardian of the women, to give their preparation. Did you hear that? To give their preparation. And let the young women who pleases the sovereign be sovereignness instead of Washti. And the word pleased the sovereign, and he did so. In the citadel of Shushan there was a certain man, a Hudi. I mean, not a Hudi. What? I said only the half of the word. A Yehudi, which means a Jew. Yehudi means Jew. Um, whose name was Mordecai, son of Yair, 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 son of Shemi, son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been exiled from Jerusalem with the captives who had been exiled with Yehohan, Yehoha, no, Yekon, Yekona, Yekonia, sovereign of Yehuda, of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the sovereign of Babel, had exiled. And it came to be that he was raising Hadassah, that's Esther. That is, yeah, and it says Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. Okay, so Hadassah means myrtle tree. Okay, the young woman was lovely and of good appearance, and when her father and mother died, Mordecai took her as his own daughter. And it came to be, when the sovereigns commanded and decreed were heard, and when many young women were gathered at the citadel of Shushan into the hand of Haggai, that Esther too was taken to the sovereign palace into the hand of Haggai, guardian of the women. And the young women pleased him, at, and the young woman pleased him, and she received kindness from him, so that he hastened to give her preparations and her portions, and gave her 7 choice female servants from the sovereign's palace. And he moved her and her female servants to the best in the house of the women. Esther had not made known to her people or her relatives for Mordecai had commanded her not to make it known, and that means that she's a Hebrew, and they did not make it known that she was a Hebrew. Okay, verse 11. And every day Mordecai walked about in front of the courtyard of the women's quarters to learn of Esther's welfare and what is done to her. Now when the turn of each young woman came to go to the sovereign Ahasuerus, after she had completed 12 months, according to the regulation for the women, for the days of their preparation were completed as follows: 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with perfumes. And with the preparation of women, it thus prepared, the young women went to the sovereign, and whatever she asked for was given to take with her from the house of the women to the sovereign palace. In the evening she went, and in the morning she returned. Well, I gotta hurry. To the second house of the women, and to the hand of the Ashgaz, the sovereign Enoch, guardian of the concubines. And she would not come into the sovereign again unless the sovereign delighted in her and called for her name by name. And when the turn came for Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her as his daughter, to come into the sovereign, she sought no matter but what Haggai, the sovereign's eunuch, guardian of the women, advised. And Esther found favor in the eyes of all who saw her, and Esther was taken to sovereign Ashwerosh into the royal palace in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth. In the 10th month, that's October. So in October, he would be brought before the king, right? In the 7th year of his reign. And the sovereign loved Esther more than all the women, and she found favor and kindness in his eyes more than all the maidens. And he put the royal crown upon her head, and made her sovereigness instead of Vashti. And the sovereign made a great feast, and the feast of Esther, for all of the officers and servants, and he proclaimed a release in the provinces, and gave gifts according to the means of the sovereign. And when maidens were assembled a second time, Mordecai sat within the sovereign gates. Esther had not made known her relatives and her people, as Mordecai commanded her, for Esther obeyed the command of Mordecai, as when she was being raised by him. In those days, while Mordecai sat within the sovereign's gates, two of the sovereign's eunuchs, Bigthan and Teresh, doorkeepers, were wroth and sought to lay hands on sovereign Ahasuerus. And the matter became known to Mordecai, who informed sovereigness Esther, and Esther spoke to the sovereign in Mordecai's name. And when the matter was searched into, it was confirmed, and both were hanged on a timber. And it was written in the book of annals in the presence of the sovereign. That's the end of chapter 2. God bless, and I have very little battery, so I gotta move.